Welcome. Today we're going to be working on Malasana's physical practice. And while she needs no changes to her physical body whatsoever to continue to be a yogi because she already is, and darling just sitting there as she does, we do want to help move her yogic edge some so that she can do some of those trickier postures that does require a little bit more. Now for you in your own person, luckily you have a nice muscle structure that you can develop and connective tissues that you can heat up and stretch and bend so that you won't need this particular kit. But unfortunately for Malasana here, Mala for short, she just doesn't have the muscle structure there. So we're gonna have to build it up just like you would in a physical practice. So we got this kit here called the Elf Flex. Malasana is all ready for her big day. So first thing we're gonna do is get the seam stitcher out. And the idea will be to basically release a few of the seams in her hands here and here. And what we will then do is we will place the magnets that are in the kit along with the arm rods right here. So the magnets will go in, the arm rods will go in, and then the next thing to happen is we'll be sewing that shut, the needle in the thread. So when Malasana comes to, she will be fully functional, completely healed. She might need to take it easy for maybe just a few minutes and allow the body to just be and accept this new muscle structure that she hasn't previously had before. So in order to keep her safe, we're going to watch that connective tissue and just let her hang out in Shavasana for a little bit. So we will be doing a guided meditation post-surgery. Hang it, folks. We'll be back. There's been some complications with Malasana's surgery, and we're terribly worried. Good thing for me, I'm an avid recycler, so I keep the recycle bin right here in the kitchen, and I recommend that you do. It seems as though we have inadvertently thrown away the Velcro stickers that came with this kit. So surgery is going to be postponed for a few minutes while we retrieve those, and then okay, great folks, that was a close call, but we are good. We've got the Velcro stickers. Once again, they will take the place of this stitch that has got Malasana bound and limited in her movement. And so one of the great benefits of yoga is it really helps with your range of motion, but we still want that element of stability as well. And our Velcro stickers are going to help us do that with different binding poses and things of that nature that you'll see Malasana do over the course of December. So looking forward to the next step in our okay, folks, things were a little touch and go there for a bit, but we're doing pretty well. We have unbound Malasana's hand, so she is super happy about that. She did come to consciousness there for a moment, but we were able to get her back into a dream state with a mindful meditation. So now it's time to come in and clear some space. In yoga, there's the idea of creating space. And when we create space for things like this rod to go up Malasana's arm, we then are able to slide that in nice and easy without a problem. So there's 4 rods. There's 2 short and 2 long. And it seems as though we have an elbow seam that needs to be worked around. So that's a little bit of a surprise from our surgical team. Didn't actually know about that, but if you glide it up towards the top, you don't really need to unstitch that seam. You're good to go. So Malasana, although she's coming to, she seems to be in a pretty relaxed state. Perhaps she's practicing what we call in yoga pratyahara, and that's a withdrawal from the senses. And this can be a nice way to clear away any pain or discomfort that may be going on so that their practitioner can work on their practice. So at this point now, we have Malasana's rod completely in her arm. It is fully functional and bendable, and we'll be able to do so much with it. We're just going to stitch that up in our next video segment. Okay, folks, we are back. We are just about to move into the next segment, and that's going to be stitching up this gaping hole in Malasana's hand. Okay, folks, so before we begin the stitching up of the incision, I just wanted to point out one thing. The directions in regard to the seam ripper clearly state, start by ripping the stitch at the end of the hand with the seam ripper. That would be right here on Malasana. Next, rip out one stitch on the top of the hand, and then insert the non-looped end of the arm wires. Here's our arm wire. Is exhibited right here, into the hand and up the arm until the loop goes into the hand. Now, in an effort to reduce the amount of sewing that I might have to do and save myself a little trouble, I decided to make my incision on the side. And my idea there was that it might be a little less subject to tearing than on the tip, and it would save me a few stitches. Now, as the great Leslie Kaminoff says, there is no right or wrong in yoga, and I can tell you I concur, but there is a right way to perform a technique. And now, given the fact that I've gone with the side and I couldn't really fit the rod in there, I now have this giant gaping hole to contend with. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video and sew her up, and we'll be back in just a moment. Folks, we are coming to the end seam here, and I just wanted to point out, before you give your Elf on the Shelf its final stitch, make sure that you don't forget to put in that magnet at the end. It'll really open up Malasana's practice, and we want to make sure that we remember. Okay, we have some great news. Malasana has completed her right arm, and the stitching is great and everything looks good. And I just want to give a quick shout out to this company, elfdoctor.com, which is where you can find out more about tutorials that I may not have included. My needle did bend in the middle of my procedure with Malasana, and I gotta say, it was a challenge. But now I've come to realize that they have included additional needles with each and every single thread that I'm gonna need for Malasana's entire procedure. So hey, shout out to the engineers behind that thinking. Okay, good folks, we are moving into Malasana's left hand now, and given what we learned on the other side on that right hand, we're just gonna go ahead and take our seam ripper as instructed, and we're gonna follow the technique, and we're just simply going to cut out that one little stitch. So just that one little bit on the end there is really all you need to do. Don't go any further than the rod needs. So you just want to create a little space around it so that rod can just slip right in. And I will tell you, it looks like, you know, as with all things in yoga and in life, a little bit of experience can go a long way in learning techniques on how they go. So we have a little bit more resistance in the elbow on this particular side than we did the first, but you know, everything is a process. Maybe let's try coming at it from the other side, from the bottom, and see how that goes. It looks like our wire wants to bend a little bit. Oh, we've made it through. Okay, so the technique includes insert the wire in the bottom of the elbow. Don't you become disheartened. And now we just have a small little seam there left to stitch, and we're gonna be right back as soon as we finish that. Okay, folks, welcome back. I have just finished stitching up Malasana's left hand and left foot, and I'm happy to say that the surgery for the most part is going according to plan. There was a small snag as I give this finishing seam here on her toe. This is right there in line with her gracilis, and this is some of the anatomy that you might want to know as we develop these muscles along the way. But the snag was with the magnet kit, and you know, I know Malasana had requested that the magnets be included so that she can deepen her practice to the best level as possible, but unfortunately our surgical team forgot about the magnet on the left hand. So we're gonna go ahead and just forgo that and do the best we can. There is a saying in yoga, and we talk about acceptance. And I think that a little bit of surrender might be in order as far as those magnets go. So, surrender. Folks, welcome back. We are just about to complete our final stitch with Malasana surgery. It's a very exciting time. Be sure to end that stitch by rolling a couple through the thread there, just so you don't unthread. And
Welcome back, folks. I'm delighted to say that Malasana came through her surgery stronger than ever. Here she is sporting King Pigeon. Well, actually a variation, a progression of some of the many different variations of King Pigeon you'll see out there. And because she did just have surgery moments ago, she's opting to keep that left arm down for a little added support. And you know, if that back foot needed a strap or maybe a couple of magnets to help things out, to keep it engaged, we could do that too. You can notice though, she has really nice opening in through her hips there, and due to that opening and the flexibility of that left hip, she's able to get that shin nice and parallel with would where be the top of her yoga mat. So thank you so much for sharing this surgery with me today, and Malasana appreciates all of your supports and all of your comments along the way. So with that, I say namaste. The light in me greets and honors the light in you. Welcome to the Edge Yoga School family, Malasana. We're happy to have you.